A deadly wave of sectarian violence is once again engulfed Pakistan's troubled northwest. At least about 32 people were killed and 47 others were wounded in sectarian clashes in northwest Pakistan. And this incident has come just 2 days after gunmen opened fire on the convoys of pilgrims in northwestern Pakistan. A delegation headed by the provincial law minister Aftab Alam Afridi arrived in the Khurram district in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province to assess and improve the law and order situation. Residents of the Khurram region held protests across various cities to condemn the brutal attack and to demand justice. However, the demonstrations took a violent turn when some angry protesters set fire to 2 police checkpoints. The police officials say that women and children were amongst the fatalities in the attack that is being called one of the deadliest in recent years. The sectarian violence is escalated in Khurram, a region bordering Afghanistan between Shia and Sunni tribes over the land disputes. Last month, about 11 people were killed in tribal clashes in Khurram. In the last 2 months, sporadic fighting between Sunni and Shiite Muslims in the mountainous Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province has claimed at least about 150 lives. The Deputy Commissioner of Khurram said that the attacks took place when the convoys were on their way from the district headquarters of Parachinar to Peshawar. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack. The incident has come just a week after a highway in the area was reopened, following the deadly clashes between the Sunnis and the Shiites. And markets are shut in Parachinar as the community is grappling with the aftermath of the horrific attacks. The NATO military alliance and Ukraine are holding talks in Brussels next week over Russia's firing of the experimental hypersonic intermediate-range missile called the Oreshnik. The new intermediate-range missile was fired at Ukraine in response to Kiev's use this week of the American and the British-supplied long-range missiles. Now, Kiev shut its parliament on Friday for a day, citing a potential Russian missile attack after Vladimir Putin issued a warning to the West by launching the new intermediate-range missile at the city of Dnipro on Thursday. The introduction of the new weapon into the battlefield has further raised tensions in the nearly 3-year-long war. The Kremlin said on Friday that a strike on Ukraine using Oreshnik was designed as a message to the West that Moscow will respond to their reckless decisions and actions in support of Ukraine. The Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Friday that the country would keep testing the hypersonic Oreshnik missile that fired at Ukraine and begin serial production of the new system.
Данных оперативного и объективного контроля испытания прошли успешно. Я вас с этим поздравляю. И, как уже было сказано, мы будем эти испытания продолжать, в том числе и в боевых условиях, в зависимости от ситуации и характера угроз безопасности, которые создаются для России. Тем более, что запас таких изделий, запас таких систем, готовых к их применению, у нас имеется.
Meanwhile, Hungary's and Poland's Prime Minister have separately warned of the rising risk from the war in Ukraine, following missile strikes by both Russia and Ukraine this week.
Mikor egy olyan országgal, mint Oroszország, amely más, mint mi vagyunk, és alapvetően a katonai erőre építi a politikáját, egyáltalán a világban elfoglalt helyét, a jövőről alkotott elképzeléseiben kulcs szerepe van annak, hogy ők a világ egyik legerősebb hadserege, amely a legmodernebb és legtömegpusztítóbb fegyverek fölött rendelkezik. Amikor ők mondanak valamit ebben az ügyben, azt úgy kell venni, ahogy mondják. Tehát én azt hiszem, hogy a következő 2 hónapban nekünk, európaiaknak nem az nyugat-európai kommunikációra épülő politika törvényeiből kell kiindulnunk, hanem egy háborús logikában minden mondatot és szót megfontolva, körültekintően és a józanész szabályai szerint kell eljárnunk, egyébként baj lesz.
Wschodzie wchodzi w rozstrzygającą fazę. Kiedy wszyscy to wiemy. Czujemy, że zbliża się, ale zbliża się nieznane. Nikt z nas nie zna końca tego konfliktu. Wiemy jednak, że nabiera on bardzo dramatycznych w tej chwili wymiarów. Wydarzenia ostatnich kilkudziesięciu godzin pokazują, że to zagrożenie jest naprawdę poważne i realne, jeśli chodzi o konflikt globalny.
Now, following the strike, Zelensky urged the world leaders to make his Russian counterparts really afraid of expanding the war. In his nightly briefing, Zelensky highlighted that Ukraine's Minister of Defense is holding meetings regarding the supply of the new air defense systems to the country.
Коли хтось починає використовувати інші країни, вже навіть не тільки для терору, але й для випробування своїх нових ракет через терор, то це точно міжнародний злочин. І від Росії це знущання над позицією таких держав, як Китай, держав глобального півдня, деяких лідерів, які щоразу закликають до стриманості, а у відповідь отримують від Москви незмінно якусь нову ескалацію. Тому світ повинен звучати серйозно у відповідь, так, щоб Путін дійсно боявся розширювати війну та відчував реальні наслідки своїх вчинків.
On Thursday, Russia claimed that it had taken control of another settlement in Donetsk, while Ukraine reported on the same day that it had repelled the Russian attempts to break through the defenses. The Russian air defense systems intercepted targets like the US-developed HIMARS rocket launchers, while the Ukrainian army also engaged in firing exchanges with the Russians along the front lines, more than 100 times, notably in the direction of Kurakhov and Pokrovsk.
The European Union has recalled its ambassador from Niamey, Niger's capital, for consultation in Brussels following tensions with the country's transition authorities regarding EU humanitarian aid for flood victims in the West African nation. This disagreement marks a further deterioration in relations between Europe and Sahelian military juntas. On Friday, Niger's transitional government criticized the EU for allocating 1.3 million euros in humanitarian aid without prior consultation. A government statement accused the EU ambassador of redistributing these funds to NGOs unilaterally, allegedly ignoring transparency principles and bypassing collaboration with Nigerian authorities. In response, an EU spokesperson expressed profound disagreement with Niger's allegations, viewing them as direct challenge to the EU's management of its humanitarian support. Consequently, the EU decided to recall its ambassador.
I'd like to use this opportunity today to invite President-elect Trump to next year's Pride in London. I also invite him to attend Friday prayers with me, any Friday he wants to come to London, or a Hindu temple, or a Sikh Gurdwara, or a Jewish synagogue. I think it's really important to share the joys of the greatest city in the world with the President-elect, and I look forward to doing just that when he comes to the UK.
Billed as a multi-hazard weather event, this storm has come with a heady blend of rain, wind and snow that's attacked almost every inch of the country. Arctic blasts hit North and West Yorkshire first thing, bringing with it 5 hours of heavy snowfall, transforming places like Ilkley into a picture-perfect postcard. And it wasn't going to stop some from getting around.
We're avid park runners, but parkrun's been cancelled this morning everywhere, so we thought we'd come and just do a run around Ilkley.
When it was properly snowing earlier, it was freezing in your face.
It was nice this morning, and it's coming down with a bit of rain now, so it's a bit slushy.
But those conditions came with a catalogue of chaos. From here, no trains ran north of Carlisle as roads began to resemble a ski slope. Some were risking it, as others thought better of it. These drivers on a main road even had to be dug out. Snowploughs weaved through residential streets in Menston, whilst in Edinburgh, shoppers were caught off guard by the unseasonal weather, as well as bridge closures like the new Queen's Ferry crossing and cancellations at some airports. 60,000 properties in West and North West Ireland and 4,000 homes across parts of England are without power. In Donegal, entire streets have been consumed by torrents of water. This is what the train line between Lisburn and Portadown now looks like. A local councillor had to speak to us on the phone, given the lack of electricity.
I never seen it like this in the town. We had a flood in 2017. It was bad, but this is, being honest, it's 10 times worse this time.
In Wales, flood alerts are now flood warnings, where they expect rivers to swell. In Shropshire, the flooding has already started. Here in the southwest, it's strong winds and heavy rain that they're contending with. Parts of this region could see 80 millimetres of rain by the end of the weekend. Businesses in Weymouth have closed in preparation. Jane is one of a handful still standing strong.
It's supposed to get windier, yeah, and it's supposed to be just as bad tomorrow as well, but who knows? I've opened and I've had some customers today, so...
It's likely going to be a long night for many as the UK battles a storm which continues to be blustery, bruising and brutal. Ashna Haranag, Sky News in Weymouth.
Selamat tu, Sek! Se gasta por todos los muros. No tiene fuerza, güey. No, es que esto es como el mar, que está bien gano, pues. No, pero la bajera es loco, mira. Dios mío, Dios bueno. Dios mío, más fuerte. Ya pasó. Mira, bajó. No, ganan, nos acabó luego disculpe. Es que me da la vida.